Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's Stella here. In case you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Stella Udosen, a YouTuber based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Okay, so today I am here to give you the second episode of sex education for kids. Like I told you, this topic is a must education you have to pass to your children. Okay, so sex education for kids, like I always tell you, it's not about the girl child. It's education you have to pass to all your children. Okay, and gone are the days where we used to lay emphasis on a boy versus girl or man versus woman. But we know that the country where we are, in short, the world at large, the story has changed. We have heard a lot of stories about lesbianism, homosexuality. So it is not just education for the girls, it's education for the boy child and also education for a girl child. Okay, so and guys, in case you haven't watched the first episode that I dropped, I would urge you to go and see that first episode. The reason is, when it comes to sex education, I can tell you for free that you wouldn't want to start with them, is giving them the last education as the first one, bringing the first one at the last one. Remember, we are dealing with kids, okay? So it is better you start it right. Start with what needs to come first, second, step by step, like that. So I don't want you to miss any of the step on this sex education for kids. Okay, so please do well to watch the first episode so that you'll be able to blend this second episode. Okay, you'll be able to align the informations, where to start and where what to say and how to start it. Like I mentioned on the first episode, there are some parents, especially mothers out there, that are ready to pass this education to their children, but they don't know where to start and how to start it. This video is for you. Guys, don't miss this video because you need to know where to start, when to start, right? So this is the second episode. If you have watched the first episode, you are going to know where to how to blend it together with this one. So the last thing we talked about was giving them the major parts of their body, the private and the public areas. We also talked about the areas where someone is permitted to touch and the areas where only mommy can touch. Yeah, I'll also say it again. To you out there that will be at the comment section asking me, what about me that is having a nanny for my children? How do I blend that? Please don't miss any of this episode because I am sure going to balance that for you. Okay, so because you gave your children the areas where nobody can touch and the areas where someone can touch, so you have to let them know that there are good touch, which is actually, yeah, this is the number 3 things you have to educate your child on. That's the step 3. Yeah, so you have to let them know that there are good touch, there are bad touch, there are good touches, there are bad touches out there. Okay, so you are going to define the good touch and also define the bad touch to your children. And guys, remember, you are dealing with children, so you have to make everything, you have to simplify everything for them to be able to grasp, as you are saying, right? So like I always say, the good touch is simple. Any touch that occur around the public areas of your body. Okay, the good touch is actually a touch that maybe if anyone tries to play with the public parts of your body. Okay, while the bad touch is when someone tries to touch any of the private parts of your body. Remember, at this point, you've already educated your children where are the private parts in their body, right? So you have to let them know that if anybody tries to touch any of those private parts, it is actually a bad touch. Okay, if anybody tries to play with any of those private parts of their body, it is called sexual abuse. Please let them understand this. Let them understand that if anybody tries to touch or tries to play with any of the private parts of their body, it is called sexual abuse. Right? Now we move on. Next thing you have to pass to them is who is an abuser. Please educate your children that abuser can be anybody, can be their nanny, can be their maid, can be their teacher in school, can be their uncle, can be their auntie. Don't forget, an auntie can abuse your male child, your boy child, can as well abuse your girl child. An uncle can abuse your boy child, can as well abuse your girl child. So you have to let them know that this is not like before where we used to lay emphasis on the male versus female, right? This nowadays it is man to man, woman to woman, man to woman, woman to man. Okay, please let them understand all that, right? So after letting them know that anybody can become the abuser, anybody, I use the word anybody, now also teach them, let them understand that sexual abuse can happen anywhere. Guys, sexual abuse can happen anywhere. We've been seeing several informations on the internet. Some of them are even happening around our neighborhood, where we have people right in their houses, uncle or even a daddy, a father abusing their female children. We have heard. So you have to let your children know that sexual abuse can happen anywhere, in their house, at the school, at the church, at the playground, at the lesson ground, anywhere you can think of, sexual abuse can occur. So let them stay alert, okay? And after giving them all these lessons, please let them know that anybody that is about to abuse them or that is intending to abuse them comes with some enticing words, some sweet words, while some other abusers can use threatening words, right? Some abusers that comes with sweet words can say, oh, I like you so much, I want to buy you lollipop, I want to buy you ice cream, I want to do this for you, like trying to entice them, drawing them to themselves so that they can succeed with their evil plans or with their negative plans, okay? Let your children know that they don't have to take all those things from strangers, right? Let them know who and who they can take from, and they don't always have to go and beg a stranger for all these things, right? Some abusers can as well come with threatening words, words like, if I do this thing to you, don't tell your parents. Please educate your children that anybody that tries to tell your child that anybody that says this word to your child, don't tell your parents, is an abuser. The person just wants to spoil your children. The person who doesn't want any good thing from your children. Let your children know that word, that anybody that tells them that if this, that happen, they shouldn't tell their parents, that that person is not a true friend to them. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So with that, they should be able to come back and tell you that so-so uncle or so-so auntie said this, that, and she said or he said, I should not tell you. Do you get? Draw your children close to yourself that they can tell you any and everything, right? So some abusers can go as far as saying, if you tell your parents, they won't even believe you. Or if you tell your parents, I will kill your parents. Like they want to threaten them so that with that fear, your child can succumb to them, right? But let your children know that when, in short, we get to that stage, what they have to do if they are about to be abused or they are face to face with an abuser. We are about to hear that in a minute, okay? So some abusers can say, I'll kill your parents, I'll kill you if you say this thing, or your parents won't even believe you, or your parents will even blame you. You know, some abusers can use the word like, your parents will blame you. Why did you accept? Why did you go close? Please let your children know that these are the kinds of words that abusers use. They can use sweet words, enticing words. They can use threatening words, frightening words as well. Okay? Now, after this, after they have understand all this, please, it is important that you also let your children to know that if they are abused, or someone has abused them, or someone is trying to abuse them, they come back home, they keep quiet, they don't tell the parents. Please let them know that the person will continue to abuse them. If they don't tell their parents, or if your children don't tell you as the parents, the abuser will continue to abuse them. Okay? So let them know that they have to come back and tell you. And if they don't also come back to report to you, it will affect their mental health. Your children will remain unhappy. They will be sad. Tell them that they don't want to be sad all the time. So it is important for them to come back home and tell you whatever thing that happened to them out there. Yep. And also, it is also important for you to let your children know that if they come back home, they don't tell you that somebody has abused them or someone is trying to abuse them. It will affect them in school. It will affect their academic performance. It will affect their general performance. Tell them it's going to affect them. Also, let them know that if they come back and they don't tell you that someone has abused them or someone is trying to abuse them, that is going to harm them physically, right? Then you also need to let them know that if someone has abused them, if someone is trying to abuse them, they refuse to tell you, or they are hiding it from you as the parents, they are going to contact a major or deadly disease such as HIV, which can lead to their death. HIV can kill. So let them know that they are going to die if they don't tell you that someone has abused them, so that you as the parents, you can take the necessary steps. Okay? So those are the education you are going to pass to your children. Then finally, on this second episode, you are going to let your children know the things they need to avoid, the things they must not do to avoid sexual abuse, right? Because it is also in their path. Like, we see a lot of things happen nowadays. So also set boundaries for your children, the things they don't need to do to avoid someone abusing them sexually, right? Tell them that, number one, they don't need to go to anywhere without the consent of their parents. Your children are not permitted to go anywhere without the consent of their parents. So they must tell you wherever they want to go to. So you can as well know, as an adult, you know where they are going to, the kind of friends they are going to meet there, or the kind of friends they are going out with, right? It is also important to let your children know that they are not permitted to sit on an uncle's laps. Like, to sit on an uncle laps, to sit on an auntie's lap. Remember, we are dealing with this topic both ways, male to male, male to female, female to male, female to female, right? Those are the things they need to avoid. And they should avoid anybody lying on them. Like, maybe in quotes, an uncle can say, I want to lie on you. They should avoid that. Those are the things that your children need to avoid. Lying down on an uncle, or an uncle lying on them. Lying down on an auntie, or an auntie lying on them, okay? And these, some of you will be out there at the comment section saying that, what about those ones that are very small, that the maid or an auntie can just carry on them? Why the auntie or the uncle is lying down? Guys, we are matured enough when it comes to this sex education. Guys, like I said on the first episode, we are not to allow our children to get to 12, 15, like those kind of ages before we introduce this topic. And we also know the age where we can start this topic. So we know the ages where the sexual abuse cannot take place. So our emphasis is based on the ages where we know that this kind of thing can happen to them. We should let them know that they should not allow any uncle or any auntie to lie on them. And even though an auntie or an uncle asks them to lie on them, they should say no. Please let your children know that they should avoid any uncle pulling down their underwears. Their underwear should not be pulled off by an uncle. Their underwear should not be pulled off by an auntie. Like I have said before, there are these ages that a minder in school is taken care of. We know those ages that a minder can guide them to go and pee, undress them in order for them to pee. We also know those ages. but we are talking about that age where we know they can be abused sexually, so they should avoid that. And if your children are in a position where sexual abuse is about to happen, any of these things is about to happen, please tell your children that they are to scream, they should shout, they should shout. The shout is to distract the person. The shout is to make the person uncomfortable. The shout is to make someone around that vicinity, around that area, to come to their rescue. So these are the things you need to let your children know. Okay, so for today, I'm gonna be ending this episode here. Please, if you haven't seen the first episode, kindly go and see the first episode so that you know how to follow it step by step. And stay tuned, do not miss any of this episode. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please kindly subscribe to this channel for more that is coming from this space, okay? And like I always pleaded, please kindly help me share this video to as many people that you can share it to, because this is a video that you must watch. We cannot shy away from this particular topic. We cannot shy away from this particular education. This is not something we leave to our nannies. This is not something we leave to our children's teachers, to their children's teachers in church. No, it is our own responsibility. Specifically to the mothers, because we do understand the techniques, the skills that we use to make our children understand better. So this topic should be taught by us to our children. So thank you for watching. See you on the next episode. Bye.